Good night, Papua New Guinea, and welcome back to another episode of Sportsin. I'm your host, and it's a pleasure to have your company on the show tonight. Hope you had a stress-free weekend. Mine was stressful due to covering sporting activities over the weekend, but I managed to handle like I always do. Well, without further ado, here's what's coming up on the show tonight. We have on the show the PNG Archery Association President, Sereugava Ugava. We also have the PNG Canoeing Association Vice President, Glen Galura, and also the PNG Men's National Sevens Team Manager, Shaun Tatu, and Team Captain, Maluai Patala. But before we go straight into it, let's take a look at the weekend's scoreline. In NRL Round 7, we saw the Rabbitohs 36 defeating Dolphins on 14 points, the Sharks 22 defeating Roosters on 20. We also saw the Sea Eagles 18 defeating Melbourne Storms on 8, Warriors 22 defeating Cowboys on 14 points. This was a close one, the Panthers 16 defeating the Knights on 15 points, just a field goal. This was a massive scoreline. The Broncos 43 defeating the Titans 26, Raiders 20 defeating the Dragons on 14 points, and the Eels 30 points defeating the Bulldogs on 4. Heading over to the Host Plus Cup results, new team Western Clydesdales 44 defeating the Ipswich Jets on 28 points, with the Queensland Cappers 38 defeating the North Devils on 0. Sunshine Coast Falcons defeating Belly Bears on 10 points. The Northern Pride, they defeated Hunters on 34 points to 14. The Brisbane Tigers 24 defeating Mackay Carters 16. South Logan Magpies 60 points defeating the Redcliffe Dolphins on 4 points, and the Tweed Seagulls 44 defeating Wynnum Manly Seagulls on 26 points. And the Super Rugby results, Queensland Reds 40 defeating Mohana Pacifica on 28 points, Brumbies 44 defeating Fijian Drua on 28 points, Waikato Chiefs 33 defeating Hurricanes on 17, and the New South Wales Waratahs 36 defeating Western Force on 16 points. Over to the POM Basketball Association in the Women's Division, Exodus 33 defeated Ultimax 27, and Chariot 63 defeating Saints 25. Men's Division, Ultimax 50 defeated Exodus 43, and the Chariots 48 defeating the Saints on 36 points. And to the Capital Rugby Union results, round 2 results, the Defence defeated Harlequins 8 points to 0, Wanderers 12 defeated Valley Hunters 5, Brothers 17 defeated Nova on 12 points, and the Crusaders 44 defeated the MBB Marlins on 5 points. Also in the Public Sevens Netball semi-finals, we saw the PNG Sports Foundation defeating the National Housing Corporation 27 points to 23, and the Department of Works forfeiting finance the book a preliminary sport. And that was our weekend scoreline for the weekend. We'll take a short break, but before we do that, let's take a look at the PNG Women's National Netball Team, the Peppers, who will be attending the Pacific Oz Netball Series in Australia. The series will be held at the Gold Coast Sports Leisure Centre from the 24th to the 29th of April under the Pacific Oz Sports Program and funded by the Australian Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade. The series highlights the skills, talents, and athleticism of Pacific netball athletes and aims to provide high-level competition for the national teams of Netball Australia's Pacific Horse sports partners. The series will see reigning champions Tonga, Samoa, Fiji, PNG Peppers, and invitational countries Singapore, Kenya, Malawi, and Zambia participate. Our very own Peppers will be aiming to display a clinical performance to improve their 2022 results after capping off the tournament winless last year. This series will also set the platform for the Peppers to attend other events both locally and abroad, which should set on track before the Pacific Games in Solomon Islands. The PNG Peppers departed yesterday to attend the week-long tournament. Well, we wish head coach Gimanama Crowdy and head team all the best in this tournament. Well, there you have it. We will take a short break and we will return with more on Sports Scene. Welcome back to Sports Scene. All right, here joining me on the show tonight, we have the president of the PNG Archery Association, Sereugava Ugava. Sere, it's a pleasure to have you on the show tonight. Good night.
Good night, Dave. Thank you for inviting me to Sports Scene.
All right, we'll go straight into heat. Sarah, we have a few questions to ask you on the progress of the sport and also our athletes that traveled down to attend the World Oceania Championship in Adelaide. So without further ado, let's go straight into it. What was the result like for the athletes that participated in the championship last week?
Thanks, Dave. Yeah, the tournament and the championships went very well. The federation is actually really pleased with the results of the 3 archers that went. They competed over 4 days, and although the official results are not out by World Archery Oceania, the official website, but I have the preliminary results of how they did. Our female athlete, Corey, came 9th in an event, while Dikana came 7th in his event, and lastly, Alsen came 13th in his event.
All right, speaking of these archers, most of these archers, that travel down to the championship, most of them new, or is that the first time?
Okay, so thanks. So for Corey and Dikana, this is their 2nd international tournament, while Alsen, this is his debut in the Adelaide event for his archery representative.
Going forward this year, will there be other tournaments that they will be attending, archery tournaments?
Yes, actually, thanks. There's 2 major tournaments that's gonna be happening later on during the year. The first one is the World Archery Oceania Challenge that is on July 15th, and the second one is the PNG Oceania Championships in October this year. So we're looking forward to building up to those events so that we really hit the athletes in their most peak form at the end of the year.
Okay. You mentioned we have a few tournaments that's coming up. Will this tournament be used to select the Pacific Games squad as well?
Yes, definitely. We are working towards having a conversation of how this tournament will lead up to be used as a benchmark or a selection policy around it to further go down and use it when justifying our athletes for the upcoming Pacific Games.
But just tell us a bit about the criteria used to select archers to attend the Pacific Games and the other tournaments.
Okay, so the selection criteria is basically based in 2. First of all, you have the Team PNG selection policy, which is independent of what the Federation selection policy, although it works hand in hand. In our own archery selection policy, based on this attending this tournament, we can have a fair idea of what the strength of the Oceania or the championships and within that pool. Then we are able to set qualifying scores for our archers. And then with that, apart from that, there are normal things like training, commitments, and showing up to federation endorsed training and competitions.
With the Pacific Games happening in Solomon Islands, that's in November, are there any expectations for these archers to improve from the last Pacific Games that they competed in?
Yes. Definitely, the sport of archery, in terms of a rank, there are two ways that you can win medals. First one is the ranking competition, and the second one is the match plays. Match plays are determined by time and a lot of factors win, and on the day, if everything goes well, you have more chances in match plays of having what they call upset scores. So definitely with training and with time, we can expect, just like any other upset competitions, results for our team.
Well, thank you, Sarah, for making time to come and join us on the show tonight. It was a pleasure having your company.
Thank you, Dave. It was my pleasure.
Well, there you have it. We will take a short break, and when we return, we will bring you more sporting updates here on Sports In. Welcome back to Sports In. Here with me, we have the Vice President of the Canoeing Association of PNG, Glen Galura. Glen, it's a pleasure to have you on the show tonight.
Thank you for having me, David.
Well, we will go straight into it. We'll be asking you a few questions on your preparations going towards the Pacific Games in Solomon Islands. Well, Glen, just give us an update on how preparations are going in terms of selecting the men and women's team for the games.
So we went through a selection phase by doing our PNG Nationals last year. From then we selected a train-on squad. A number of them is 67 athletes altogether, paddlers that we are currently working on. At the moment, our preparations have been going through a monthly regattas between the three clubs, which is 3K, Pomok and Campus, respectively. We've been doing some marathons and sprint races along for this preparation. At the moment, we are also doing some high-performance trainings, such as gym sessions and off the water, and also on the water as well, with our basic preparation for paddling.
As you mentioned there, we have about 67 members who are currently in the wider squad. When are we expecting the final team to be announced?
The final team to be announced will be on the 4th of November, but the first cut will be happening next month. Our first cut will be on May. We'll then reduce it monthly from then on. So things that we look at, of course, is their results through those regattas and their results on the gym sessions from the high performance, and also medical checkups from which is required by the PNG OC as well.
Just give us a background on the team's results on the last year's mini Pacific Games.
So on Saipan, we did quite well, especially for the women's side. The women for the V6 canoe race for 1500, we came in silver, and V6 is 500 bronze, and then for the marathon, for just 24 kilometers, we did bronze as well. On the men's side, we actually had our best results in recent times. We came in 4th on all races, but in our expectation for this coming SB Games is we should be able to podium for the men's side, and of course the women's are very competitive as well.
As you mentioned, you want to be competitive going into the next game. Yes. So are there any lead-up games that the teams will be attending prior to the Pacific Games?
Well, we are looking to be able to compete in Australia, hopefully with the fundings and stuff that we will able to allocate. A trip to Australia would probably be a good tune-up for our ladies and men's team, hopefully in far north Queensland competitions.
Well, the team itself, where do you actually train? Is there a venue that you train for preparation?
Well, for the 3 clubs that we train in, we usually train right around the harbour, which is for 3K and Pomok, while campers, on the other hand, they are situated in the villages, which is a Kala village, so they train on the river, which is quite good, and this is one of our strongest teams as well, coming out from that region. And aside from that, we have the venues such as the TAC, the Aquatic Centre, for our high performance gym sessions, which they do during Tuesdays and Fridays for those dates, aside from our regular paddling training sessions.
Speaking about training venues, I understand that Vaha has been one of the teams that has dominated in terms of winning gold medals at the Pacific Games. In terms of venues, you have not been given a specific venue to train. Has there been any progress made to secure a permanent venue to prepare the team?
Well, it is one of our goals to get a permanent place for us to have these venues, especially for storage of our assets such as canoes and paddles. It's one of our things to get a location set to have these assets attainably available for every single paddlers that we have. And at the moment we don't have that, and with the help of the city government and also maybe a private sector as well, we're looking to hone in a place, possibly at somewhere in Ella Beach. So that's where we usually have our regular regattas in place as well. So, or any other area which would be viable for storage and safekeeping of our assets.
Well, there you have it. That was Mr. Galura giving us an update on where they're heading to and how things will be going in the next couple of months to prepare the team for the upcoming Pacific Games. Well, once again, it was a pleasure having you on the show tonight. We wish you all the best in your future endeavors. Thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you
so much. Yep.
Well, we'll take a short break, and when we return, we will head over to the Sereugava Stadium, where we spoke this week to the PNG National Men's Sevens team manager, Shaun Tatu, and the captain of the team as well. Stay with us. Welcome back, viewers, to Sports Scene. We are here at the Sereugava Stadium, the home of the PNG Rugby Union. Now, we will be talking to one of our general team managers of the National Men's Sevens team, Shaun Tatu. Shaun, welcome to the show.
Hi, Dave. Good morning, Lee.
Okay, Shaun, just give me the insight as well, preparations for national team going to the Challenger Series. South Africa.
Okay. All boys training 3 months now. All kampung lo February lo prepare mo let lo golo isla tournament. All got tap lo Goldie too. All spending one week and tap la one time all Goldie training depot warrior unit. Now all samda mangi been pull out na disla na. At that time all been gonta been 18 ka mangi, time all come down and 16 ka mangi, so that's the 16 ka mangi stop lo squad. Unfortunately by me na kare moga tayat ko lo South Africa, they didn't plata sol ba travel.
Okay, Shaun, me understand os by plus stop inside lo the tough lo pool where you may got Hong Kong, Italy na chill. Some of the team or boys been playing more Pinis or not yet?
Yes, all boys playing Chile Pinis. Last year all been go Chile na playing Chile. Hong Kong and 7 series round lo. Well them stopover Hong Kong in Nogras also play 7 slam. So those are the two team where me play look lam lo. Bagimba strong. Italy too strong team, but mila worry more Chile na Hong Kong because two line out also invite more plenty time go HSBC.
We will head over to the gym now where we will speak to the men's captain. Now I'm here with the captain of the National Men's Sevens team, Maluai Patala. Malu, thank you for making time available. How are you?
Thank you. Me alright, sir.
Alright, sir. Malu, by story like lo Carrier Blue na at least give him background details lo you yet.
Okay, firstly maybe starting Jenny Blumi antem schoolboys rugby lo play scrum PNG maybe working under 17 pukpuks antem junior rugby development lo layat maybe go sem lo Brisbane lo Tumba lo junior championship first time maybe travel antem play antem junior team.
Patala was inspired by his uncle and few teammates like Butler Morris to play rugby and make a name for himself.
Maybe play the school boys and misarim play name lo all big all mangas play all play before kain so Wesley Wali kain manu se Butler Morris so all been making me puks the time all been playing so me in school na misa lukim na me to one time me been bami where is la Jesse all play le so Islam motivating me lo play union lo come up on me puks this time.
Fast forward to now, Patala will lead the side going into the tournament with the hopes of finishing off well.
Islam on my mas where Islam the second time can where me mas lo leading the team sa young team ante all nuclear boys kan team il patrol ante lo Chile na Brisbane lo Oceania so now some all nuclear boys can come inside so me mas lo lead this team.
The former Morobe Hammerheads captain said playing in a tournament that was filled with world champion teams was a tough ask but a privilege as well. Patala said regular competition against high quality opposition coupled with good preparation would see the Pukpuks improve and get back on track to being a strong and competitive team in the Pacific.
Yes, lo ladies lo first lo mes mi lo vaccine one per game one per time so when something come up and mi lo gaining so on a result lo first game for the second third so one per game one per time.
Well, there you have it. The general team manager of the national men's sevens team, Shaun Tatu, and the captain, Maluai Patala. We wish them all the best in the tournament this week in South Africa. We will now head over to the weekend previews. Let's start with the NRL Round 8. Well, this weekend in the NRL Round 8, we'll see the Rabbitohs taking on the Penrith Panthers. The Eels will take on the Brisbane Broncos. Bulldogs will take on Sharks. Cowboys will take on the Knights. Dolphins will take on the Titans. The West Tigers will go up against the informed Manly Sea Eagles. Roosters will take on Dragons, and the Melbourne Storms will take on the Warriors. That will be a nail-biting one. In the Hot Plus Round 7 draws, we'll see the Black Hawks taking on the Tweeded Seagulls. Manly Seagulls taking on the Northern Pride. Mackay Cutters taking on the North Devils. We have the Bears also taking on our very own Hespe PNG Hunters. And the Dolphins taking on the Ipswich Jets. Falcons taking on South Logan Magpies. And the East Tigers taking on the Clydesdales. In the Super Rugby Round 9 draws, we'll see the Chiefs taking on the Fijian Brewers. Melbourne Rebels going up against the Crusaders. Auckland Blues taking on the New South Wales Waratahs, and Western Force going up against the Highlanders. In the POM Basketball Association Week 5 Round 2 games, we'll see in the women's division, we will see the Saints taking on Ultimax, and in the men's division, we have the Saints also taking on the Ultimax. That was our weekend previews for what's coming up on the weekend. But if you want any stories or sporting images that you would like us to put on TV, you can contact us on the following details on the screen. Phone us on 312-9229, email sportscene@mtv.com.pg, or visit us at Level 2 Garden City, Morocco. Well, that's all we have for tonight. On behalf of me and the rest of the Sports In crew, it's good night.